This is Frankie Abbruzzino with Scoop News. And Holic sat down yesterday at the City County Commission for Venice and basically gave his review of what he'd like to see. He wants to move forward with trying to get the post office off the island so that his grand idea is to put a replica of a hotel that used to be there up. And the other idea is the revitalization of Seaboard. This one is crazy because in October, I think it was actually, I brought to everyone's attention an article that was written in the Herald 3 years prior, where Holic had said that he wants to move all the businesses out to 75, and he envisions a Riverwalk style area with high-end hotels, condos, and businesses there. He must have forgotten to give that interview, and he was caught off guard by it. He denied wanting to do that and said he was all for property rights, which also surprised me because at the same time I said, well, then if you're all for property rights, why are you doing restrictions on short-term rentals? And why are you telling people within the city of Venice that they have to get approval from the city for a garage sale and can only do 4 a year? That is not representative of someone that's all for property rights. It surely is not a libertarian view. And so a lot of these politicians, they do a lot of doublespeak, and unless for the people that go out and just listen to the stuff they spill on papers or the one-time conversation Holic or any other politician will spill out, they know that person will believe them, and they're not going to go out and research it like I do or many other individuals do. Now, some of the stuff that he said that the city has accomplished, some of it made me laugh. They talked about alleviating parking woes, which they have. You're not hearing much about the parking anymore, but they did it by reducing centennial parking from 5 to 3 hours, which may upset a lot of individuals. I don't think a lot of people know about it yet. We'll see what happens there. The other thing is, I was surprised by this one. They said by using the seasonal trolley, it's alleviated parking. But it's been proven, there's been an analysis on it, that that's actually not helped with parking. If anything, more people are parking and hopping on that as more of a tourism type vehicle to go around in. They talked about working on the underfunded police and fire pensions. Folks, this has been underfunded for, I think, over 6 years they've been working on it. So I don't know if I would say the city's done that and say that's a great accomplishment. No, the city, from what I understand, has been working on it. They've settled on everything, and they're still kicking sand, not doing anything. They did complete the first draft of the comprehensive plan. Kudos to them, and it looks good. They've dropped the growth plans. This one made me laugh. Purchase of Ajax property to expand the city services, which they did, and they actually have too much property, so they're going to look at doing some other stuff out there. People want sports fields, some want park, etc. But they said they did it so that Pinebrook Park can continue to be a park preserve, which is bullcrap. I got to call them out on that. That was never the plan, and it's funny how they threw that in there. The bond issue, which was a few months ago, yeah, okay. And then now they're talking about they need to fix the drainage on Wellfield, which has been an issue for years too, and nothing's being done. In addition to ADA restrooms, parking, shade, and all that stuff. It's also being reported that he wants to do that redevelopment again with the Seaboard, and I get it. I used to live above Ted's Printing when I was a kid back in the 80s. It's not the best looking area to look at, and I know they're concerned because it's the gateway to Venice, but the amount of cost associated with doing what Holic wants, and I'm assuming he wants to do what he said he wanted to do 3 years ago, and the development that he wants to go with the envisioned Riverwalk area will just bring so much more tourism here. I don't know if the city could handle it, and I don't know if many of the residents will be on board, but you never know. One thing I've noticed, folks, is a lot of the newer residents are driving the agenda of the politicians. They're a lot more vocal, a lot more involved, and they don't care as much about the growth issue. Okay, and then affordable housing. This is a good thing, something I've been pushing. Holic, he's changed his way of thinking along with many of the council members. Back in October, when Laurel Road was given the apartment complex, and they said, oh, it's for affordable housing. And in their mind, affordable housing was somebody making $70,000 a year. He's changed that and said, okay, now I understand that a waitress or somebody making $30,000 a year needs affordable housing, which I think I like to take credit from it, although I know he did, but it's something that I've been echoing out there for years and something I pushed hard when I was out there pissing John off running for that mayor spot. So that's it. What I tell everybody is, look, you can't just go by and listen to what the politicians say on one message, one communication, one speech. You got to listen to the whole. You know, if you listen to someone, and I'm using Holic because he's the one that gave this presentation, he's spit out so many different versions of what he wants to do with different things. I lose track of it. And one good example is the trolley. He kept giving different timelines. So I would say different dollar amounts. And next thing you know, you get publications like the Gondo that's in his pocket, or Kimmel with this Herald paper in his pocket, and they say, oh, Frank doesn't know his numbers. You know, and I'm like, wait a second. I used to sell financial securities. I own my own company for, what, 16 years. I think I know budgets. I know numbers. And the reason they're different is because you keep changing the timelines. It frustrates me how politicians operate and how so many papers just kowtow to them and they don't go out there and speak the truth. All right, everybody, this has been Frankie Abruzzino with The Scoop News, and everybody have a great day.